one of the things that became really clear to us last year, that the Institute for Functional Medicine did their first survey and showed that the biggest thing that was holding back functional medicine from becoming the standard of care was just a really obvious inefficiency, right? An hour and a half intake is awesome, and we love the fact that we can spend that time with patients, but how many people can you really see if you have that kind of system? And so what we've looked to do at the Evolution of Medicine, the first thing that we wanted to do with the Functional Forum is make this kind of information accessible to everyone. You didn't have to go to a conference and pay to go there and fly there. You could watch the Functional Forum online forever for free. And then the second thing we saw is, okay, now that we've opened up the barriers, there are still so many practitioners who want to practice functional medicine, but just can't work out the model how to do it. And so we started this thing called the Practice Accelerator, and I wanted to, we're going to have a bit of a new segment. We typically would do the practice transformation tools, but I just wanted to show some notes from the Practice Accelerator here, because I feel like it's very important for us to look at the models. And we've already heard two amazing things that we teach in the Practice Accelerator. One is the provider teams. Scott, Shannon, these guys working with these teams together so that you can have, maybe the naturopathic doctor can do the intake. It doesn't have to be what kind of physician can, all the teams can work together. The other thing is telemedicine, and we talk about that here. But so this is the Accelerator. It's goevomed.com/accelerator to find out more about it. We created it to help practices really work out how to practice functional medicine and learn from, we're in a very unique position here at the Functional Forum, is that we're hearing from the whole industry. If you're a physician practicing by yourself, you have an idea of what you're doing and maybe a few other people that you meet, but you don't know what the best practices are coming from across the industry. And so what we did is boil down those best practices. So, we've talked already about, provider teams, telemedicine, two really obvious ones, but I wanted to talk about one thing that I think is the core central part of the evolution of medicine, and particularly patient education, right? So much patient education in the first era of this medicine was done face-to-face, right? Doctor to patient face-to-face, which is awesome, super engaging, but ridiculously inefficient. And there's so many ways that we can do that now. So the email autoresponder sits at the middle of the Practice Accelerator, and every efficient practice is delivering information via this kind of service and not via one-on-one doctor to patient. So a couple of examples. So an email autoresponder, if you're not aware of the terminology, is just when something happens, like you put in your email into a box and say, I want to get an email, you get a series of emails that come the same for every person that puts in their details. And so the reason why it's really valuable is, one, you could set it and forget it. At this moment in functional medicine, we are in the world of physician entrepreneurship, and being a mum and being a doctor and being an entrepreneur is really hard. We talked about being 2, but being 3 is harder than anything. And so once you set it up and you set up the autoresponder, you can forget it. Every person is going to get the same predictable stream. 2, you can tell your story perfectly every time. How amazing would it be to visit one of these guys' clinics here and to hear from them that they're not the hoity-toity psychiatrist that is just telling you what to do, but people who have actually been there, right? To have a real sense of empathy, to really be able to put yourself in those shoes. You want to tell that story consistently every time without it taking up any of your time. And you can do that on the email autoresponder. 2, you can add so much value before the first appointment. Some of the most innovative clinics that we're seeing now in their autoresponders will tell you how to avoid coming into their clinic. Because what they can say is that the whole goal is to empower you not to have to need care. Right? The goal of functional medicine is to create an empowered patient who's well and doesn't need any more medical care, right? So if you can deliver some of that learning through an automated system that takes none of your time, there's no downside to that. All the clinics that are doing that are thriving because they are delivering way more value before they ever have an appointment. It's easily shared. I'll share this in a minute, but we've had so many examples of people who send out an email. Everyone knows how to use email. Even my 80-year-old dad in South Africa, who's watching right now. Hi, Dad. Actually, it's 2 a.m, so he's probably watching tomorrow. But yeah, he knows how to use email, and he knows how to do forward. And if he sees something interesting coming, he might send it to all of his friends. So now you're building in marketing into a structure that was really designed for patient education. And for It saves you time every day after it's set up. And time is the one thing that we can't make more of. We have to get more efficient with it. There is real value in the time that's spent with patients. So all this other time on the education that's needed, let's do it in a more efficient way. People have done handouts. People have done group orientations. It is a really efficient way to deliver information. And if there is an educational component to make the most out of your practice, you need to deliver it in a scaled way. So these are just some of the lessons. These are some of the practitioners who are actually writing about their experience. This is for a naturopathic doctor, Dr. Maskell. She says, shout out to all those working on the accelerator. She worked up a series of 42 emails. She came up with a series of what is everything that I would want every patient to know about how to keep themselves healthy. 43 daily emails. That's a lot of emails. She didn't think anyone would sign up. 42 people signed up. She's got 5 meet and greets scheduled. So in that autoresponder, you put a link to book an appointment, right? In almost all of them, say, hey, if you're ready to go, time to book an appointment, and they could book an appointment. One thing that I learned from ZocDoc is that 80% of people who want to book an appointment online do so between the hours of 6 p.m. and 9 a.m. There's no one in your practice then. There's no one picking up the phone. And, they have a pain at that moment and they want to be able to book. Online booking is absolutely crucial, especially if you're doing a telemedicine practice. This week on the Evolution of Medicine podcast, it comes out on Thursday or Friday. We're featuring 2 ladies, Marjorie Nass and Heather Campbell. They've started a program called Ready, Set, Recover. And Ready, Set, Recover is a program that you as a practitioner can recommend to people who are going through surgery. They took all the things that they knew about how to have people recover efficiently from surgery and put it in email autoresponder. And it's a product. And you as a practitioner can curate it. And if you're a patient listening at home, you can gift it to someone who's having a surgery, and it's got information for pre-surgery, during surgery, and after surgery. So this is an example of what it can do. And I think that we need to, if we want to educate people at scale, we need to take advantage of the technologies that can be used. So a couple of shout outs from the accelerator. David Gordon's here in the house. What a day. Let's have a round of applause for any man who would write this. Proud to be making the change and on the forefront of the future of healthcare. This is a doctor that left a very predictable practice to be able to build his new practice. He says the community and support here has been phenomenal. If you're going to make a transformational change, of which switching to do functional medicine is a transformational change, you need the support of a community, and that's what we're creating here at the Evolution of Medicine to allow 100,000 physicians to come and build these type of practices. So thanks, David, for stepping out. I know it's not always easy to be the first, but it takes a lot of courage. Dr. Karen Cow, she's in North Carolina, same kind of thing. Needed a community to be able to take the leap to build this low overhead micro practice, and we're really proud to have all of them in our community. And also in the accelerator, we teach people how to use technology and the technologies that can help them run a more efficient practice. And just think, Nudge here, Nudge Coach is a really awesome technology to help you track what your patients are doing between appointments and nudge them if they're doing the wrong thing. See, it's a clever name. Oh, you haven't eaten it, you're not taking the picture of your food. You're meant to be in connection about your food, and particularly for the functional nutritionists and health coaches out there, if you're the one whose job is behavior change, then it would be nice, wouldn't it, to know exactly what your patients are doing between appointments. And Nudge allows you to do that. So in the Practice Accelerator, we actually help practitioners operationalize these types of technologies so that you can make the most benefit in your practice. So this is a new segment, Notes from the Accelerator. We've been doing this now for a few months, and I just wanted to have an opportunity to wrap with all of you here because I feel like this is the big blockage now. There is literally an epidemic of doctors that have taken functional medicine trainings but are still working their jobs in emergency room medicine, in these other doctors, because they can't work out a way to deliver the practice. And the good news is you don't need so much stuff as you need. We have practices popping up off a laptop in a non-traditional medical environment, like a co-working space, a corporate campus, a CrossFit. In 2 functional forums time, we're going to be at Lifetime Fitness in Minneapolis. They got 137 gyms. They want to put functional medicine in all of them. Health is happening where people actually are, and we're facilitating it.